Hi guys. So today, excuse me, today I am going to be documenting at least, starting to document my journey to do no drainage potting up my plants in no drainage. I've kind of done this for a while, but I haven't used the method that I'm currently using to pot my plants up. And honestly, I have seen nothing but good results from it. So I kind of just want to tell you guys the plants I have switched over to no drainage so far, how they're doing. I kind of have a rough estimate. I kind of went all like type A and made an Excel spreadsheet of like all my plants. So I'm trying to like be better about documenting everything about when I do stuff. So I kind of have like a small list of relatively who was first. A couple of them I did not film at all or like take any. Actually, most of them I did not film, but some of them I at least had like some pictures that I took that like could kind of tell me the date. But for the most part, I'm going to start documenting everything about my move to no drainage because I have seen nothing but great stuff. And for me, someone who is a chronic underwater, I feel like this is the best way. And honestly, like I love seeing the roots and actually being able to see that my plant is like progressing in a positive way. So this has been nothing but amazing for me. So I'm just gonna hop right into it because we have a lot of plants for this first little chunk of time. So let's just hop into that. I did pot up a couple plants in no drainage that are not set up in the way that I would like them to be. So I will show you those because those are ones that I'm going to have to repot. Sorry, I like set up in a completely different way. So now all my plants are like behind me. So I will have to repot these three, I think it's just three, into the way that I am going to do no drainage. So I'll just show you. One is actually doing terrible, but I don't think it's because of no drainage. I think it's just because I don't know what I'm doing. This is a Milano Chrysum that I got from the Green Escape. I potted it up in this little jar and it's just in soil. Like I said, I'm going to repot this. I also think that I was not watering this enough. And so that's why it's not doing good, but I still have healthy stem. I can see that there is a new growth point. So I'm still trying, but this is not a good example of no drainage. Let me just tell you that much. Then I also have this black cardinal in no drainage. This one's actually doing really well. It's just in soil as well. It is pushing out a new leaf. And honestly, like I said, I am a chronic underwater. So this really has helped me be able to keep this plant hydrated. I can't see any roots at the moment. But yeah, this one's doing really good. I might not repot this one just because it is doing all right. I would love to get the rest of this label off. So I might repot it just for that reason, but this guy's doing really well. And these were probably potted around November of last year. And then the last one I have is also one that was not doing hot, but it is pushing out another little growth point. This is my Aurea Warsawiskii. It has this new little baby leaf. So we're hoping that this one will continue to do well. So two of those I will probably repot. The black cardinal I most likely will not. But those were my first pots, my first plants that I actively put in no drainage. And then the next plant that I did is my variegated burl marks. So the story behind this one, this is the first plant that I did with leca on the bottom. Oh my gosh, look at those roots. Oh, so pretty. But see, this is like the main reason why I love no drainage is so I can see how much water is in there and look at the roots. So this is a little bit different from how I'm usually handling my no drainage. What I'm doing for no drainage is a little bit of leca on the bottom to kind of act as like a reservoir, and not a reservoir, but like, well, I guess kind of. So I can see where the water level is, and the leca balls can kind of help move the water up to the soil. And then when it's completely empty, you know, I can add more. This one, as you can see, has a lot, like the water level is right about here. My reasoning for doing it with this plant in particular is I bought this from Ecuagenera. I got this for my birthday from my boyfriend. Like, look at this leaf. Oh my gosh. And it's so pretty, but then it started going south really fast when it was in its regular pot. It's like a nursery pot. And I took it out and realized that it had a really bad root system. Like, there was not a whole lot of roots. So the water level is pretty high because I'm trying to regrow the roots. And as you can see by this cute root growth, as you can see, it's doing really, really well. I could definitely tell, like, the reason I realized that there was root problems was it was not, all the leaves were remaining really limp no matter how much I watered it. And so I was like, oh, this boy is not soaking up water. So it's been doing really, really good. It's about to unfurl this leaf right here. There are 2 more growth points that are going off right now. I did have a couple leaves fall off because, like I said, it was not getting enough water. So it's doing really, really good now. I am keeping the water a little bit higher on this one just because I'm trying to encourage root growth, which is going off as I keep showing you because, oh my gosh, it's so freaking cute being able to see those roots. But yeah, so once I feel that we have some acceptable root growth, I will go back to watering this normally rather than keeping more water in it. But this one was also around November that I potted it up. I did not take any pictures of this one, but this was my first plant that I put in no drainage with the leca at the bottom. And yeah, it's been doing really great. Okay, so after the burl marks on November 29th, I potted up this brandy, which I also had included in a video, so I'll link that one right up here. And this was a water prop that I wanted to pot up. And oh my gosh, this one's doing so good. So you can see this is where the water level is right there. And like, it did have really good roots, like a very good root system, but look at the root is reaching down there. There's a whole bunch right over here is going off. This one I also keep under a grow light. I believe brandies also like to stay pretty moist, so I am keeping this guy nice and moist, especially because it was also a water prop. But it's doing really good. I have a new leaf emerging right there. This one was kind of sad. It's probably because it was unfurling right when I like repotted it up, so it's probably going to be stuck. But this new leaf was not there when I potted it up. It was just this guy. So with like a month and a week-ish, it's already putting out a new leaf. So I'm hoping that I can keep this one going strong and putting out more leaves. This is the biggest leaf that I have. This was on it from the water prop. But I have these 2 leaves and then these 2 emerging / possibly dead. Possibly never gonna emerge leaves. But this one's really good. And like I said, the root growth is going off. It's loving life. So yeah, I can see a couple more. You probably won't be able to see on camera. You kind of can see that root right there. But yeah, oh my gosh, I love this. I love being able to see the roots. It's just so cute. Okay, and then the next ones I actually showed you guys. I'll link the video up here in a card. These were propagations that were in my prop box that I potted up, and I did no drainage. So as you can see, there is leca on the bottom and then soil. This one had a little bit of sphagnum around the roots as well. So these were potted up December 22nd, and it is currently January 5th. So it's not super long. This is, I believe, a silver sword. I think I'm like 90% sure. I have a terrible record of keeping silver swords alive, hence why I had to grow a silver sword from a stump. But this is the stump and it's doing pretty good. These are the three leaves that it had when I potted it up. As you can, I don't know, will you be able to tell? There's a little bit of water down by the leca, but everything is still really moist. So I probably won't add water for a little bit until it kind of dries out a little bit more, just to ensure that I don't rot anything. Then I also have these two that were potted up. I believe this one is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma and this one is a Brazil. Like I said, nothing has, you can see, can you see? Ugh, it's so hard to like show with glass, but you can see that there's some water in there at the bottom and they're really moist and they're loving it. These ones I am keeping a little bit more moist just because they were propagations. But yeah, they're doing super good. Somewhere in that time, in between, I think it was actually in between the burl marks and those three that I just showed you, I also potted up my Billietier that I got from the Green Escape. Yes, the Green Escape. It's loving life. It's putting out a new leaf, so that's good. You can kind of see the water line is about here and everything is still really moist in there, doing super good. This guy is right underneath a grow light and he's a loving life, like doing so good. I do not see any roots peeking out yet. They had very, very small root systems, still well established, like they had a lot of roots, but they were not like reaching out. So it'll probably be a little bit of time before I can start to see roots move out. And then lastly, I did a big, I like was collecting a whole bunch of like glass and plastic pots that I could use for my no drainage stuff. And so I did a big repot of a bunch of guys. This was on the 1st, actually. So 4 days ago. My gosh, that feels like so long ago, but it was only 4 days ago. These are my most recent no drainage guys. I used up pretty much all of my plastic containers and glass containers that I was saving for no drainage. I'm actually gonna go to the thrift store today to look for more. And I bought 2 soups from Trader Joe's, which the jars will be really, really good vessels for my plants. But yeah, so these are my most recent potted plants. Yeah, so let me just show you all of them, because this will kind of, you know, act as good documentation of how everybody is doing when they started. So the first one I potted up is my water prop of my Florida. As you can see, this leaf is so pretty, but these did have thrips, so they do have some damage to the leaves, but we have a whole bunch of new growth coming out from when it was water propped. This is in an old candle container. It is like kind of dark because it's like a brown glass, but I mean, you can still see in and like be able to see everything. I can see some roots from the side. This one did have pretty good root system, so that is nice. But yeah, so this one's really cute. Hopefully I can show you guys updates of how roots are doing in a little bit, but this is what we're starting out with. So cute. I love it. And like, look at this little leaf. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Then we have my Albo Syngonium. Lazy puppy. My Albo Syngonium, and this guy had really, really good roots. I did chop, oh my gosh, it's actually right here. I did chop a bottom node from this and I just put it in water. So we're gonna see if we can get another Albo Syngonium out of that. But yeah, it's loving life. This guy is right next to a grow light, and so it is doing amazing, and I just can't wait for it to keep putting out new growth. But yeah, I already had a really good root system. You can kind of see the roots there. It has not, like, it's only been 4 days, so it has not put anything out recently. But and I like, this one had a really tall stem, so it's kind of nice that it's in a super tall Starbucks cup. But now I'm reusing my cups and not wasting them, so that's good. Okay, then we have my golden dragon. Yeah, he's doing really good, loving life. So you can see there's like no water in there, so I actually brought over my watering can. Oh, I just spilled. And I'll just put a little water in there. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay. This is so hard. I'll just put some water in there and then you can kind of see it pool in the bottom there. A little bit. So then I'll add a little bit more. My rule of thumb so far has been just keep the water level about halfway. It's kind of leaning back towards me. Okay, there you go. Now you can see the water level in the leca. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm keeping it, is about halfway up the leca. Unless, like with my burl marks, I am needing to like reroot it. But yeah, this guy is loving it and he's clearly drinking up his water. So go you, little guy. That's kind of crazy how fast I needed to, like, it's only been 4 days and I need to give you some more water. Okay, another guy that is very thirsty, you can see there's nothing in there, is my ring of fire. Look at this new leaf it's putting out. This guy, like I said, have said before, there was definitely a learning curve when I got him, and it took some time for me to get to know how to take care of this plant, but now that I have given him lots of light and let him dry out a little bit in between waterings, he is taking off, and clearly he's loving it because look at this little leaf. Yeah, it is a little, but this is the last leaf that I grew like in my care, and it's not super variegated. There's a little bit, but this guy definitely has some good pinkness and some good little variegation. So we're hoping we can just keep on doing great. And he has some more water now, so that's a really fast drink as well. But the like soil was really not moist as well, so I don't know. Okay, another one that I am very concerned about because I have not had good luck when repotting Hoyas is my Hoya curtisii. I know they do like to stay, you know, like they're succulent like plants. So this guy, I watered him when I first got him potted up, and his reservoir is dry, but the leaves are all super hydrated. So I'm not going to add water to this guy, but I'm just concerned about the fact that I repotted him. I tried to keep as much of his root ball like intact and didn't mess with it as much as possible. So this is what we're looking like. Oh my gosh, there's freaking dog hair on my lip. This is what we're looking like just after potting. So I'm hoping that we can keep thriving because it's nice and full and pretty, and it's got this long stem, and yeah, this one is the one I am the most concerned about, not necessarily for being in no drainage, but just for the fact that I repotted it. So yeah. Okay, next one is my Monstera standaleyana. This one is kind of starting to grow a little wonky and kind of putting out tiny leaves, runner-esque leaves. So I think I'm going to chop it. I was going to chop it when I potted it up, but it was really dehydrated when I potted it up, so I was going to wait until I hydrated it. So I'll probably do this in a plant care video next. I'll chop them up and hopefully stop this running from happening. But he as well has a completely dry reservoir, but he also has pretty moist soil. This guy does tend to be very thirsty. It also was in terracotta before I potted it up. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. Ooh, you can see some roots right there. Those are not new. That was there. But now we can look at those roots and see them. But I think it's really loving this. It perked up so much, and I think I'll be able to be on top of watering a whole lot more with this guy in no drainage. Whereas before, literally, he was always thirsty. So yeah, and like, look at these leaves. They're so pretty. Like, it's not the most variegated plant. Like, this guy put out some really good variegation. But I just love the shape of the leaves, and I would love to have a really bushy version of it. I want a bush, a nice thick bush. Okay, we are, like I said, this was a potting marathon. So the next one I potted up was also a thirsty boy. This is my Syngonium something. It's pink. I don't know. I got it for like, not like $5 at some nursery a long time ago. This is another one that I have consistently have struggled with keeping watered, keeping on top of the water, as you can see from like the sad like leaves right here and here. So I'm hoping that this will also help. This guy is in a ramen container, but he's already looking a lot happier. There's no water in his reservoir, so I'll just add some. But yeah, looking super happy. Like I said, I suck at watering this guy, so I'm hoping that this will help keep him hydrated, and then we will not have, and I like thoroughly enjoy how wonky this thing is growing. Like, it is just growing every single direction, putting out leaves everywhere. I love it. It's so great. But yeah, so we added some water. You can kind of see the water level right there. With this, I'm noticing with a bigger container, it is harder to like keep the leca like up its own little layer. But I'm okay with it. I can still see like the level. But yeah, super cute, super fun, super fresh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. We are almost done. Last 3 plants. So this one was actually doing very well in no drainage, but I just wanted, in a pot with drainage, but I just wanted to put him in a no drainage pot, because I thought that would be fun to like see him thrive. So this is my Squamiferum. And yeah, he like I said, he was doing good, but I just really want to like watch him grow from every angle. Makes me sound like a total creep. But yeah, I don't have much to say about him, but I'm very excited to see his growth. And he also has a pretty empty reservoir with some moisture up at the top. So I'm just gonna give him a little drinky drink. And he's so cute. I love him. Next one is the one that I never freaking remember the name. It's a Thematophyllum something maybe, but Philodendron Goldii. This guy has not really done much in a while, so I'm hoping that putting him in this no drainage will get me some action. But this is what he looks like. We are losing this leaf. This was happening before I potted it up. No root growth that I can see, but like I said, it's been 4 days. So, but this is what we're looking like at day 4, day 5, whatever. I don't know how you would classify it. Okay, and then the last one that I potted up is my Philodendron tortum that I got from Equigenera. This is what we're looking like. No roots as of yet. This guy was really taking a turn once I got him. So I was like, okay, I probably need to like repot him up and get him in like a good actual pot. So he was in a regular like orchid type pot with sphagnum moss and a little bit of perlite. And so when I went to depot him, I noticed that there was some root rot. And so that's kind of why some of the leaves were taking a turn. So I took some video when I was potting it up. It had like two like really long, it had a really, okay, how can I say this? It had a very long stem. So as you can see, this one is like, it was a cutting, like they took cut. So I don't have any new growth points right now. Like this is all I have right now. So I'm hoping it will pop out, activate a new growth point so I can, you know, grow this guy. But the stem part that was in the moss and perlite was really long, and some of the root was rotted. So I cut out all the rotted parts, and I'll insert the clip right here. Okay, so this is what I found in my tortum. This is not where I cut from. This is just like roots. And they're relatively good roots, minus, it's not too, nothing's like squishy, so I'm gonna pot this up. Oh gosh, I'm making a mess, of course. And then this is where I cut my tortum from. Right here is fine. Like, so this is where my stem to my tortum was coming off, snipped there, because right here is squishy. And you can kind of see it doesn't look great, but right down here looks good. So we're just gonna sample this out, see what happens, because yeah, some of the roots look really good, some of them not so much, but let's just see what happens. Okay, so I potted them up. You can't even see this one. It's right here. It's where the stem is. So we'll see if anything happens. And then this one looks like that. That looks like it was kind of trying to like push out a growth point, but it didn't because it was like in all that moss. So let's just see what happens. It's a mini experiment. That's so crazy. It's so funny because I literally repotted all of these plants, and then this, I just did the tortum, which is now here, because it kind of started going south a little bit. So I was like, oh no. And I think it was because that like middle chunk was rotten. So hopefully it bounces back. And it has a much smaller root system now, but all the roots that I saved on it looked good. So, and then obviously that one little part of the leaf broke, but we'll see, we'll see. Anyways, that was like the last one I potted. So I had like no vessels left that I was planning on using. But I ended up doing this one and I found that one. So experiment, let's see if anything happens. If not, well, so I took the stem part that was not rotted and potted it up in no drainage. Like one part is really, it's looking very dead now. Like not rotted, but dry. So I'm just gonna peel it out a little bit. Like this top bit looks dry. So I don't know, this might be not a successful experiment. And then the other one, I honestly can't even see where it is. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep these going, see what happens, see if any new nodes get activated, see if I can grow anything. And hopefully this guy will activate a node and put out some new growth for me. But yeah, so that is everything that I have in no drainage right now. I don't have any others potted up in no drainage because I need more pots, more no drainage vessels. I actually hate the word vessels, but I don't really know what else to call it. Oh, but I literally just looked. So I have been doing no drainage for forever with this guy. This guy is in perlite, but he's not thriving. Like, he's not doing well. I mean, he's doing all right. Like, he clearly put out a new leaf. I also just kind of forget about him. But you can see, can you see a bunch of roots? This is just a random lily. Clearly he needed a good drink, but this is a random lily that I bought with my friend. His name's Brad Lily. And he's just living in perlite right now. He's doing all right. I should maybe pot him up in my new no drainage things. But yeah, he's been living in there for a long time. I know people hate like how algae looks, but I don't really care. I think it's kind of cute. But yeah, that is not a good example of no drainage, but I have had that plant in no drainage for literally like 2 years now. Anyways, that was a lot of talking. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have any tips for no drainage, what your thoughts are on it. Are you gonna do no drainage? Do you like no drainage? Or are you a drainage hole gal, or guy, or they? Let me know in the comments down below. And hopefully I can do another video on all these plants in a couple months and show you guys new growth. Probably, yeah, a couple months, whatever. Do an update on that and show you guys how everybody's doing. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.